Okay, great. Thanks everybody. So we're going to have a quick AMA because we have like just an insane number of things to do today. So thanks to everybody for joining us. We have like 2 new people joining us today. So we have Amazon Prime Wolverine Unmasked. Alex Spedding coming to us from Wiltshire in England.
Nice to be here on the other side of the screen as a participant, not a viewer. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Great. Well, we're glad you're here too. It's been 3 months. You know, what have you been doing, man? We've been like struggling without you. You know, we need help. So I unashamedly like beg people to join us. That's my recruitment strategy. So I'm glad it's worked with Amazon Prime Wolverine. So, you know, I mean, just unabashedly, like I'm so excited that people join from like our community and come into our core team. So Amadeo is joined like that. You know, Alex, we've got Nick, we've got Ravi, we've got like Torab. I mean, there's a number of others. You probably all know them by their fake names. So really, really excited about it. And we also have today Ryan Leader. So Ryan Leader is like a marketing superstar. So I'm really excited that he's going to come and join us. He's basically going to translate geek and all the tech stuff that we're doing into things that people in the normal world might you know, be able to relate to. So Ryan's background is he has worked in New York, Tokyo, Amsterdam, and London. He's worked for major accounts like Coca-Cola, Hewlett-Packard, the Olympic Games, etc. He's a very traditional guy. He bought his first ETH this week, and he's advised on crypto by his son. So Ryan, say hi.
No, hi everybody. Extremely excited to be part of the team and part of just a once-in-a-lifetime project as we, you know, the world makes the transition to such a better system, right? And I'm really excited to work with everybody and really unleash and harness the power of this story, not just for the people who really get it and are deep into it today, not just the degens, but for normal people, right? And that's where it gets really exciting when everybody comes onto the right platform and really creates the future we all want to live in. And so I can't wait to be part of that.
That's amazing. That's great. So we're going to do some more like kind of in-depth stuff about marketing as our marketing efforts really take off, but you're going to be seeing it and Ryan's influence starting from next week. And that's going to continue through our public sale, our token go live, and then as we, you know, do a live launch of our web and mobile app. And, you know, our objective is really clear. This is a mass market endeavor. So all right, more to come. So how about to Amadeo Brands?
Yeah, hello everybody. Good to be here with everybody again, and a lot has happened, and I'm personally very happy that you know, like we're together trying to, like, it was a bit of a, you know, hard time for everybody, but motivation is coming back, and we're all boosting forward together without the previous distraction, I would say. So what we did in the tech team is mostly focusing on the we mostly focus on the first of all the rage quit contract. So basically we you know, as everybody knows, like basically FluidFi is it's a new Swiss entity. We basically had to start from scratch with everything actually. So but we of course we'll have some people that got an airdrop, and if people want to rage quit, there's a contract where they can send their airdrop fluid tokens to, and they will get back some ETH. And that more information, Robert can talk more about the exact dates of that, but we finished the concept and the contracts are ready to be deployed, and also the website and stuff where you can sign off your fluid token airdrop. We worked on the new token sale contract, so that's basically the contract that will go live to distribute more of the shares in the new fluid Swiss company. And of course, the main priority and also the critical path for us is getting our banking infrastructure to mainnet, basically. Right now it's in beta. We have around 50 beta testers, 45 to 50 beta testers that are now extensively testing the application. Like if the login process work, if the KYC processes work, if the compliance processes work, that's now all being tested. The next step is that we're now also already testing with live fiat money. So, now it's like, it's a test net, and we're going to go live, and we're going to test with real money. And then people will actually get an account with $5 in like real dollar balances, and they can just mint to a real curve pool on Arbitrum. And that's what we're working on right now. So we will put our fiat USD contracts live on Arbitrum mainnet, not on testnet anymore. And from there, we will launch a fiat USD /2 CRV pool. That means that you have fiat USD / DAI and USDT pool. And there you can deploy basically your fiat. And that's the next phase of the rollout of the bank accounts. The next phase will be pretty exclusive, and we will soon, I think Ryan can tell a little bit more about that potentially in the future, but we will have like a marketing campaign that there will be some selected beta testers that will be able to test out the live banking infrastructure, and that will be live before the token sale. And then after the token sale is done, we will of course launch the trading pairs, et cetera, again. And then basically the shares of the bank are freely traded. So we give back to our customers instead of just, like banks just take from customers, we actually give back. So yeah, that's in a very short summary what I did. Also, one thing I also focused on last week and a little bit the week before that as well is basically contacting everybody that had a Argent wallet or different wallets and was not able to claim the airdrop. So I helped everybody, and I also communicated with everybody that basically bought some fluid, that had an issue with the airdrop. So I contacted everybody, and what we're going to do is before the rage contract will go live, we will also run a script that will airdrop basically the remaining tokens to people that had an issue with the airdrop. So that's what I've been working on. And of course, what also is really cool, as Robert already said, we onboarded Alex from the community. And Alex has been working on some bugs, some smaller tasks, and he went into the code base of our core banking infrastructure and of our DeFi infrastructure and how we merge these two worlds. And yeah, maybe Alex, what did you thought of the code base, and how did you experience your first days at Fluid Finance?
Sure. So I started on Monday, so 5 days ago. So Monday, everything's new to me. I've never worked in finance, fintech before, so the whole domain's new to me. The entire tech stack is completely new to me, I think. And sort of Monday was very overwhelming for me, all these new things being thrown at me. But really quickly, I realized it was really simple to set up, get the code running. The code base was definitely probably the best that I've worked with. Please don't tell my past employers that. So it's really nice to sort of just be able to jump in and sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was actually committing actual bug fixes and, providing actual work and contributions to replacing banks. So it's really quite happy that every bit of work I'm doing is one step forward to getting rid of banks.
That's great.
That's really amazing. Another small update is that I just had a video, or more of a vlog in front of a museum, and people would think like, what museum that I was standing in front? Well, it's Wall Street, and I think Wall Street, it turns into a museum, just like when Robert came to Amsterdam, he slept at the bank. He actually had to sleep at a bank office, which actually turned into a hotel, right? So.
Yeah, it was great. So when we hung out and when we did some brainstorming with the tech team in Amsterdam, which I think where we decided to go to Arbitrum, even though it was really, really new at the time. So Amadeo, of course, like given his philosophy, put me up at like some small little hotel that used to be a bank. So it was great. So that was kind of the inspiration for, it's the same. I think one day you're going to walk by the New York Stock Exchange and see that also as kind of a museum piece.
Yeah, and it feels already that it actually is, right? So because there's no more trading and stuff like that, and I actually tried to go inside of Wall Street and I tried to like really understand, okay, what's going on there, but it's very, very secure. It's like this very secure museum right now. And they're not telling you where the servers are. It's basically a cartel, in my opinion. And like what we're trying to do with DeFi is building a more transparent financial system. And yeah, I think that fluid finance can offer a transition to that world, right? Like for institutions, but also of course for everybody that wants to explore this new technology stack and get a higher yield and have more freedom of their own finances. That's what we're trying to do. That's the mission.
So you were filming, Amadeo, you were filming there for Ivan, right?
Yes, yeah, we're making DeFi 101 and DeFi 201 reloaded. I'm not the main star in this in the new DeFi 101 201. I'm a little bit too busy for that, unfortunately. But together with Josh Rush from, he also has his own channel. He's going to do that, and I'm helping him a little bit, and I'm doing the introduction, and I'm doing a video about layer 2s, so about a layer 2 centric roadmap for Ethereum, and telling a little bit about that, talking about CK Syncs. I'm talking about Arbitrum, and I talk a little bit about token economics and how do you design that and stuff, and how do you determine good projects and how do you actually explore the blockchain. And so I'm doing a couple of lectures, but the most work will be done by Josh. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's one of the ways that we first met, actually, because Amadeo, I was like, you know, I mean, like my coding skills aren't that great, but I think Ivan's kind of a cool guy. And I don't watch him so much now, but I used to watch him like every morning because he's entertaining as well, right? So, and I actually took Ivan on Tech Academy. And so Amadeo was my professor. So I met him like that. And then also Stani recommended Amadeo, and of course Amadeo invested in the company in the first place, so he was a member of the community. So that's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
And Alex, look, what's your background in terms of coding? Because I know you've got a PhD in computer science, but you weren't actually coding in our languages, right? You weren't coding in Golang or whatever. So you've tried to learn it, right? Or what's going on?
Sure. So I went to university, studied bachelor's in computer science. I stayed on for a PhD because I thought that was what I wanted to do, but it was a horrible experience for me personally. Then I worked at a couple of startups. So I think I was mainly writing Java and using Elasticsearch for the database, which is probably the opposite of sort of typical SQL databases. So sort of in the past few months, I've been sort of looking at Go and stuff like that, and it's a very simple language. I think if you know any other programming languages, Go is very easy to pick up, and it's such a simple programming language in a good way. It's allowed me to really easily sort of start reading the code base and understand what's going on, and not have to worry about really strange cryptic things people are doing with programming languages. It's just sort of, you can almost just scroll through a file and read it and understand what's going on. It's really, really nice.
Well, that's cool. Well, you got to encourage people, because we're going to grow our community hugely. Ryan's going to help with that as we bring people in. We're also going to be activating some of our advisors. And I'd love you to convince people to come and join us, because we're definitely looking for coders, for programmers. We need particularly the back end, the dev team. You know, I'm signing a lot more projects, so it's going to take I don't know if it's going to drive Amadeo and the tech team crazy, but like we need a lot more. We need a lot more help. We've already got, I think it's just writing an article for Medium. We've got like 14 full-time people doing dev work. So, and we need a lot more. So whoever you can convince, that'd be really cool. So Amadeo, just quickly, you mentioned it. Amadeo, you mentioned a 2 CRV pool. I think you said Tether and DAI, but I thought that DAI is it Tether and DAI, or is it Tether and USDC? It's
Tether and USDC, thank you. Yeah, so that's why it's also a 2 CRV pool. Thanks for the correction. So it's basically because DAI is not, it's in Arbitrum, but it's not fully ported over kind of. So they're using USDC and USDT at Arbitrum. And that's the pool that we will be setting up. So I see some comments. I was just reading some comments, and I mean, like, that's a real product update, right? So we're going live on the main banking infrastructure, and we'll go live on mainnet with the actual fiat USD token itself. So that's going to happen. And for the Fluid security token, which is basically a completely new company, right? Like, it's a completely new organization. That will, that is already airdropped to some of the people, and that will go live after the token sale. But maybe Robert, you can say a little bit about that more.
Well, I think that, Amadeo and I are catching up kind of in real time as well. It's like, it's amazing. You've talked to some of the people, I think, who had like, who didn't get the airdrop because they had it in, different wallets or whatever. Well, I guess I need to send that from, I guess you, me, and Nick need to sit together, and I manually send them tokens from my wallet. Is that right? Is that how it'll work?
Yes, yeah, that is correct. Well, now it's also, since the Gnosis vaults are now like basically live on Arbitrum, so we can set up the proper multi-sig infrastructure. So that things like that happened in a previous company will not happen again. And basically from there, we will also airdrop some of the people, not that many. So there was only around like 15 people that had some issues with wallets or had some issues with their snapshot being not taken correctly, and they will be made whole like before the well, as soon as possible, basically, probably when me and Robert have time, because we've been very, very busy. So it's probably going to be, I think, yeah, we can do it after the AMA, or we can do it on Monday or on the weekend, whenever we find time.
Well, right after the AMA, we've got a major marketing thing with Ryan about how we're going to take a lot of this advertising to normies, to mainstream. But let's you, me, and Nick, we can sync on that and send it out to people. And we can also set it up for the Gnosis safes. I mean, actually, in the previous, whatever company, there were Gnosis safes in place for the treasury shares. So. Anyway, you also mentioned about the rage quit mechanism. I know there's a lot of discussion about it. From a technical perspective, if I understand correctly, that's all done. That's all ready to go. We looked at the contracts. The website is ready to go. This is Switzerland. This is a company that's going to become a bank. I spend a lot of my life with lawyers. We have some amazing lawyers on the team. It's really, really great. But we are waiting for the final sign off from lawyers about how we're going to go ahead with that mechanism. And as soon as that's done, I expect that to be next week. I think it's the middle or the end of next week, but I don't know. I mean, I can only push so much. But am I correct in understanding that the contract and the website are there? Right.
Yeah, that's 100% correct, and it's going to be an evenly distributed pool with a basically curve. So basically, what we have there is a ceiling price. So there's like a maximum price, and I think it's set around like now around $2. Yeah, so it's set around $2, and basically there is ETH in the pool. So let's say 1,000 people come in, and there's X amount of with X amount of tokens, and there's X amount of ETH, and will be distributed at $2 per token. And if there's more people than the curve are coming in, then the price will dynamically basically go down, right? So let's say there's 1 million people coming in and to claim the token, then the price will go down. Just in the same way as actually would happen if you would have it in a liquidity pool, right? So if you would have Fluid /ETH in a liquidity pool, it's the same mechanism. Only right now there's less slippage, and it's actually more fairer for everybody that rage quits. So everybody can rage quit, and at the end of the rage quit, basically everybody will get the same price. So it's a bit more fair, and like anybody that wants to do that is free to do that, and everybody that wants to stay is free to stay.
Cool, that's great. So one of the legal issues is the obligation that people are properly informed before they make any decisions, and we need to make sure that we're not releasing like important information afterwards. So some of that information has to be out, particularly in the form of the manifesto. So my manifesto that I'm writing for Medium, that's been approved by the lawyers. We're just working on getting that into a final shape. So I'm going to publish that on Medium. And then I think after that, we should be ready to go. There's a few other little things I'm waiting for, but yeah, but that should be ready to go. So what else is there from a tech perspective? One of the things that we talked about was a roadmap, and you've got a really cool we talked about a static roadmap versus a dynamic roadmap, and it's much better if it's like if it's dynamic. And also, I think you've made it interactive as well. Is that right? So people can actually see basically kind of the output of what we're doing internally, like from Jira and whatever. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what we did after the previous, we basically had to recreate a lot of things like from scratch, right? So what we actually did, we switched to a more professional way of like organizing our epics, and epics are basically bigger milestones. So I see the Cosmic Tensi is a little bit, he's asking me, when is this, when is that? Well, you know, we are an agile company, so we will deliver like what we can deliver. So the beta is now live, and what we will do, we will make a transparent roadmap with the things that are live and the things that are now being worked on, so that everybody can basically see the progress and what's being worked on, and anybody that has an idea can submit an idea, and then we can add that to the roadmap or add that in consideration. And also anybody can put in comments or requests for us to maybe work on different actions. So this is also working towards maybe more the DAO model. Of course, FluidFi is not a DAO, but the DeFi bridge DAO that will be released after the Fluid token sale, and we were probably going to like airdrop to different people. That will be more of a DAO, and there you have more insight. With the Fluid Finance company, everybody that is part of the bank, everybody that has the shares can give insights or give us guidance in which direction that they want us to build, and which direction they want us to go to, what kind of bank do they want.
I think that's really great. And again, it comes back to Amazon Prime Wolverine, that like, you know, if you're a member of the community and you've got some skills and you want to see something done, like, you know, join us, right? So don't just be a lurker in the dark, like Ivan says. Like, you know, really love you to participate in the forum. And gosh, if you've got like skills like, you know, marketing, PR, whatever, tech, you know, do please join us. So that is all. That's all.
What we're now so looking for is a good Vue.js developer. And basically what I would also say, like with Ryan, like the tech is now a little bit front running the marketing, because on the back end, the DeFi bridge DAO is already very advanced. And we're actually also already working on a in-house saving product. So we're having a quite innovative way of constructing our saving product, either for degens and normies. So for more people that want to have a stable rate and people that want to have a higher but a little bit more risky rate. And that's what we're working on right now.
No, love that, Amadeo. And then we'll catch up. And I don't know if you're going to be in Geneva next week, but I think just continuing to understand the product roadmap, right, and how that impacts how we're going to market in almost a chapterized way. But we've started to build the framework to enable that, to kind of continue to move the conversation along based on the product innovations coming to market. Super exciting. You know, let me just say, normally, you know, I've built many types of brands. Brands are the real value creator for business. A lot of the intangible value of the most valuable companies in the world are locked up in brand. But often you have to do it without the product or service that's world changing, right? And so you're always leaning on emotional things, trying to make big things out of very small and significant things. And so the ability to be building a brand around truly world changing innovation is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's great. We're really looking forward to telling the story to the world. That's for sure. Is there anything else? Is there anything else I'm missing? I don't see questions because I have something else on my screen. But like Max, are there questions, or Amadeo? Is there anything else we needed to cover?
Yeah,
I know we have a
people want to hear hard dates for the for the rage quitting mechanism.
Yeah, I'd like to give it to them, but this is CeFi, right? So like
Yeah.
it's dependent partly on our lawyers. I don't know. People don't believe it, Nick. Go hire a lawyer. Like it's we've tried really hard to get the company incorporated as soon as possible. So like we signed it last Friday. It was 3 weeks from the start date. So that's the first time a company has ever been established with shareholders' capital in ETH that is going to become a bank. It was published in the registry just a couple of hours ago. I think that Ravi's going to get that out some details out in the group. And yeah, we're doing everything we can. So, but this is a company that's to become a bank, and the idea is it's going to be the largest bank in the world. So we're doing everything correct. We have a law firm on full-time retainer, and we're going to get this done just as quickly as we can. There's other things as well that are being produced kind of in real time. So yeah, the answer is just as soon as we can. So there's nothing else I can do about it. So
okay, yeah. Any more technical questions? Anybody wants to talk maybe about Arbitrum or ZK Sync? We're also looking at that. Or anybody maybe has some questions about the DeFi bridge DAO or the saving products?
Well, you could tell me about ZK Syncs actually, because I was just asking Nick about it, because I'm writing it for the Medium article about us being basically the first bank that's going to put our ledger. It's going to be hashed to chain. So do you have any more thoughts? Do you have any more thoughts on that?
Yeah, so basically my favorite layer 2 is actually ZK Sync and Arbitrum as well. They're both great, but the extra security that you have at ZK Sync is that you basically can always withdraw to layer 1, so you would never get stuck. In Arbitrum, there is still a multi-sig for the optimistic rollup, so there's still a proof that the validators need to give before you sync back to the main chain. So ZK Sync is even better than Arbitrum, I would say, but Arbitrum is actually a little bit more easier to integrate with, because it right now has a lot more projects already onboarded, and it goes really fast and it's really easy to onboard. So we will in the future also go to ZK Sync with our deployment of our fiat USD and the liquidity there, but our main home base will be Arbitrum. And I see a question from Doughboy, and we will provide the initial fiat USD liquidity. It's going to be a smaller pool in the beginning, because we really want to make it very exclusive. We don't want to do mainnet testing with really big amounts, and then over time we will let this portion of the assets grow. And actually internally we're also thinking about launching a lot more stable coins, in terms of maybe the Great British pounds or euros or Swiss franc stable coins, because we're actually walking against a problem in our current currency exchange setup. There is a lot of weird blockages right now to exchange fiat currencies in the weekend or on holidays. The APIs of Currency Cloud just give us a 400 error, and it's really hard to get around that. So we will potentially deploy our own FX network on the blockchain to actually overcome this issue. This is something that's still in R&D, and our main focus, as I said before, it's really getting to mainnet and getting a fiat USD pool up, and having a small select group of people test with real fiat. My idea is to have a landing page for that, or somewhere on the website where people can basically sign up for the beta forum, and the more times you share or the more points you get, this point system will still be released. The higher you get in the leaderboard, and then the people highest up the leaderboard will get better access to the actual core banking infrastructure, and will actually have a account at Fluid Finance, and they can test the real life products. One other question I see is the Arbitrum, a question about Arbitrum, about the 7-day waiting period. That's something really cool because we're basically we have built our own bridge, and that's something that's also already good, basically good to go. But security for us is like the main priority, so we want to release step by step. And what we want to do is basically that if somebody wants to go to Ethereum, he can just bridges over his fiat USD on Arbitrum to fiat USD on layer 1 Ethereum, or fiat USD on ZK Sync, or fiat USD on Polygon. Because we have this bridge, this is also very good for traders or people that want to do arbitrage between different pools on layer 1s or on side chains or on our layer 2s. And this will create a mechanism for us to, one, generate like cash flow for fluid.ch or for the DeFi bridge DAO, and mostly we want to see like how will people use it, or how can we create bots that will arbitrage between these two chains. And that's also something we still have in R&D. It feels a lot of times when working in crypto, it feels like an endless overload of possibilities, and that's why I really try to first build the basic and the foundation. As Alex also saw, like we have a good foundational code base with Go and the front end Flutter and Vue.js, and we want to build this out more in the future with on the blockchain, with also having like people arbitraging or our own bots arbitraging, and that's something still in R&D, but the main focus will be mainnet launch, and then of course the token sale, and after that we will see what will be the next more steps.
Okay, that's good. So if there's nothing else that's pressing, we're going to get back to you with like solid dates as soon as we can, as soon as we get that. Lots of other stuff coming next week. I've got an article coming out about fluid.ch. I've got some others as well, tokenomics. And we've got some cool marketing with Ryan. And now we've got Amazon Prime Wolverine on the team. So, it's a dream team. Everything's going to be amazing. So thanks again, Alex and Ryan, for joining.
Nice. Put this day in your calendars, the day Wolverine Amazon Prime. The day that's the best name ever.
Isn't it a great name?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. That's funny. I insist everybody uses their real names, but you should maybe consider changing your legal name to Amazon Prime Wolverine.
It was another community member who gave me that name. They said I looked like Wolverine, but if it was the terrible Amazon Prime TV show version. So it's a community-generated name.
Oh, that's great. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
No, that's great. The terror of Wolverine, but he delivers like Amazon Prime.
That's funny. So thanks, thanks everybody.